criteria of evaluation. And I think if you can make that kind of case, you get much more support for affirmative action, what I call affirmative opportunity.
Yes.
Thank you. I'm really happy that a lot of this conversation is focusing on education, because I really see it as the perfect intersection of the overcoming cultural and structural barriers. But you spoke a lot about inadequacy in teachers, and you also mentioned that in the Harlem Children's Zone, they were able to recruit teachers who didn't have an education degree. And I think that that's great also, but I also see a big problem that teachers don't have enough training, and that is the reason that there are so many mediocre and horrible teachers, because they don't have a complete understanding of schools and the school population today. So are you an advocate of these alternate certification programs like Teach for America that don't provide much training at all and have a very low retention rate, or what do you see as the solution to produce well-trained teachers?
Well, this is beyond my expertise, okay? I'm not an educator in the sense of being familiar with how you train teachers. But I can say this: I've looked at some of the research, and there is an indication that you don't necessarily need a teacher's certificate in terms of getting teaching skills to be successful in these schools. And I think you have to give someone who's making decisions on teachers is what are the essential parts, what are the essential characteristics and or requirements. And I think one would be dedication, and two would be social intelligence, how you sort of relate to the kids, and three would just be how smart they are, how bright they are. I would really rank these very, very high. But someone following the traditional criteria would probably place far more emphasis on the extent to which the person has been exposed to teachers training and so on. But as I said before, this is beyond my expertise. So.
Okay. Yes.
You've spoken tonight a lot about the Harlem Children's Zone and its successes, which are great, and clearly the Obama administration is pretty enamored with it and using it as a model for their new program that you've described. But how concerned should we be that the model isn't so successful because of its model per se, but really it's the people. It's the dynamic leader, Jeffrey Canada, who you've spoken about, but perhaps really that's part of or a large part, maybe even the primary part of its success. And should we be concerned about that when it's time to replicate it and push it out, whether or not without him in every location, will we have the same success? How concerned should we be about that problem?
Well, I think the importance of a charismatic leader is in the creation of the program. I mean, he had to overcome all kinds of obstacles to get this program off the ground, including the resistance of families who didn't believe or didn't trust him. So he had to be charismatic. He had to show real leadership just to get this program off the ground, get it up and running. That's where the charismatic thing is important. Now, in replicating the program, what we can do is see what explains the success of the program once it's up and running. And that's what we're now involved in with the Harlem Children's Zone. Roland Fryer, the economist who I just mentioned, has pulled together a team of social scientists at Harvard, sociologists, economists, including myself. And we're going to do a very comprehensive evaluation of the Harlem Children's Zone, including quantitative and qualitative data. And we're going to be spending some time analyzing that data. in order to develop a comprehensive theory of why the program is successful. And we hope that this empirically based theory will provide the Obama administration with some guidelines when they attempt to evaluate the promised neighborhoods which are patterned after the Harlem Children's Zone. It's important to have a charismatic leader in the creation of the program. It's not so important to have a charismatic leader in the implementation of the program if you understand what factors have to be in place to guarantee the success of the program.
I see our time is almost up. Professor Wilson, any final thoughts here?
Not really. I just want to say that I got an honorary doctorate from Ohio State University several years ago. So I identify with Ohio State, and I promised myself I would not say this, but I can't resist. I'll say it anyway. I root for the football team.
Thank you for being with us, Professor Wilson. Thank you for coming this evening.
So on behalf of the Kirwan Institute, the Office of Minority Affairs, and the OSU Department of Sociology, I want to thank Fred Anderle, of course, Professor Wilson, and thank you for coming out. I want to encourage you all to continue to explore in a very serious way the issues that Professor Wilson has illuminated for us tonight. Thanks for coming out.